Holy smokes, is it a Formula One car or is it the Batmobile? That's the question everyone was asking in Barcelona this week. The first real look at the massive 2026 regulation changes is finally over, and while the cars were running in secret, the leaks tell a fascinating story. We saw a Ferrari topping the timing sheets with Lewis Hamilton, a Mercedes engine that looks bulletproof, and a radical Aston Martin design from Adrian Newey that barely hit the track. But don't let the lap times fool you. Some teams are hiding serious reliability nightmares, while others might be sandbagging harder than we've ever seen. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly who survived the shakedown, who is in full panic mode, and why the 2026 cars are going to change the way drivers race forever. Let's dive into the data.
Okay, let's start with the teams that actually look ready to race. If you are a Tifosi, you can breathe a sigh of relief. Ferrari and Mercedes emerged as the two most solid teams of the shakedown. Ferrari was flying under the radar, but managed to rack up about 900 laps over 3 days of running. The headline? Lewis Hamilton set the fastest time on the final day. Now we know lap times in testing are usually nonsense. We don't know fuel loads or tire compounds, but Hamilton and Leclerc seem happy with zero serious complaints. Then there is Mercedes. If rumors are true, they might be the early favorites, though they are trying desperately to downplay it. Their reliability was frighteningly good. Between George Russell and Kimi Antonelli, the Works team did 500 laps. If you add up all the customer teams using the Mercedes power unit, they logged over 1,000 laps total. They finished their program a day early. While they are trying to keep expectations low, the atmosphere in the garage screams quiet confidence.
Now, moving to the reigning champions, it's a bit more complicated. Red Bull and their new Ford powertrain are actually looking decent on reliability, logging over 600 laps. However, their test was disrupted not by the engine but by a crash. Isaac Hadjar, driving for the main team, had an incident on day 2. This forced them to wait for spare parts to fly in from Milton Keynes, costing them valuable track time. Max Verstappen admitted the new engine is complex and needs improvement, but the base is there. McLaren, on the other hand, raises a few eyebrows. They started late, not hitting the track until day 3. They were plagued by a fuel system issue on Thursday that limited Oscar Piastri to just 48 laps. In total, McLaren only managed about 280 laps, far less than their rivals. There are whispers they'll bring a totally different spec car to Bahrain, so maybe this was just a dummy run, but it's definitely a slow start for the Woking squad. Now, let's talk about the car that broke the internet, the Aston Martin AMR 26. Visually, it is the most aggressive car on the grid, with many calling it the Batmobile due to its all-black livery and radical shape. This is Adrian Newey's first creation for the team, and you can tell, they've turned the rear suspension into what basically looks like a beam wing. But does it work? We don't know yet. Aston Martin was very late to the party, only doing 5 laps on day 4. When Fernando Alonso finally got a proper run, Honda reportedly put a strict limit on the engine, capping the speed at 250 kilometers an hour just to check systems. They are treating this as a true shakedown, not a performance test. With Lance Stroll managing 4 laps at slow pace, the car came to a halt in the final sector on his 5th lap and stopped in the runoff area near the pit lane entry. There was no immediate explanation for what caused the stoppage, but Aston Martin will be hoping it is a minor issue that can be resolved. This brings up a key point about the 2026 cars in general. Drivers are reporting that while cornering speeds are slower, the acceleration torque is massive. It's going to require a totally different driving style, putting more emphasis back on the driver's skill in the cockpit. Guys, if you think the big teams have pressure, spare a thought for the new manufacturers. Audi had a rough start. Gabriel Bortoleto only managed 27 laps on day 1, and Hülkenberg had issues the next morning. But credit where it's due, they fixed it. By the final day, they ran 144 laps trouble-free. That is a huge win for a new engine manufacturer. Cadillac, however, had a brutal welcome to F1. They faced integration nightmares, sensors, electronics, the whole works. They only managed 160 laps across the entire test. Sergio Perez admitted they are dealing with complex operational problems. It's exactly why we have these shakedowns, but they're clearly on the back foot. Surprisingly, keep an eye on Alpine. After a terrible 2025, they've switched to that reliable Mercedes gearbox and engine architecture. They recovered from early glitches to run 340 laps and look surprisingly solid in the midfield. So, my opinion? The McLaren MCL40 is not just a car, it is a high-stakes bet. They sacrificed testing time for dyno perfection. They risked cooling reliability for the ultimate aerodynamic shape, and they brought a design so detailed it looks like a different category compared to the basic look of some rivals. Rob Marshall and the design team clearly didn't want to play it safe for the new regulations. They built a silver bullet. But is that floor real? Will the cooling hold up in the desert heat? I don't know. So let's hear from you. Look at those side pods. Do you think McLaren has found the magic bullet for 2026? Or is this design too fragile to win a championship? Drop your predictions in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe as we track the technical war all season long. I'll see you in Bahrain, guys. Take care.